Come on, photo. Back up. Hey, sass pot. Come on. Hey. There we go. And there's Cher's little factor bull calf. I think he's only a week old. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is Saturday morning and it's actually nice and sunny out. We got about six different things that we could do today or this morning, and I'm really not sure which one he wants to focus on or which way we want to go, because we do one, we're not doing another. You know, it'd be nice to do like about 4 of them at the same time. I'm gonna grab the 4-wheeler and some mineral, and I'm gonna restock the main crew with mineral. What's up, McFats? Oh, you guys have been going nuts on that. You're not so fat anymore. What's up, photo? Oh, perfect timing. You guys are all out. One bag of Redmond. Come on, photo. Back up. Hey, sass pot. Come on. Hey. Not the 4-wheeler. Jeepers. And 1 bag of Purina all-purpose. Well, they're definitely enjoying it. A little too much. That FH75, the all-around daughter, she can be a sass. So yep, 1 bag of Redmond, 1 bag of selenium salt, and then 1 bag of the Purina all-purpose. So they had a little bit left over yesterday, so that was perfect timing. Get them all stocked up and good for a couple days. Well, we've opted for picking up bales because we want to spread manure. And the only place we can spread manure is on the pit field. But if I haven't mentioned it in a while, kind of left these guys down here. Not that we didn't have the space. We just kind of got caught up in other things, and then snow, and I had picked up some to get out of the way of the snowmobile trail, and that was about as far as we got. Nothing wrong with them, but we got to get them picked up because it's not like we're going to spread manure around them. Short because we didn't realize that one of the tires was a little low and started stacking it on. It squished pretty good. So we're going to be a couple bales short of a full load, but they'll all fit on the next load, not a big deal. We might not even have to unload these yet. We could probably start hauling manure, and whoever stays could actually unload bales while somebody's hauling a load of manure. We'll see. I gotta offload a couple of rocks too. All right, so we are gonna leave this load sit here, and we're gonna start setting up and to haul, and we're gonna haul out of the yard. So I got to get those calves. I'm gonna put them in the barn like we did with the cows. Well, so Dad loads this load up. I've been kind of starting to tentatively write in who I want to breed to who. So starting at the top with Nora, the full blood. So right now she's just gonna get Kingpin, which is Kingpin, elevation. Honestly, I could change my mind. We still have a Dominion on here, but I think I might just save that. If we find the Bravo could work. I would kind of like to leave Bravo for a cow versus a heifer, only because the last time we used them had a little bit longer gestation, so it was a little bit bigger birth weight. So we'll hold on him. Still great bull, and I still want to use him. And I would have used another bull I wanted to get was St. John Bravo, which is a Bravo son. So it looks like Dad's full. So we're actually gonna follow Dad down. I gotta swap the bucket, put the material bucket on. Ooh, looks like we bent a tine. The culvert we go across is kind of notorious for starting to create like little sinkholes, because when the water gets high, it runs around the culverts and then washes out the sand in between it. So we just been filling it with rock, and then you throw a little sand on top of it, and usually holds pretty decent for a little while. But so back to the board. Yeah, so I'm not really caring about that, whether it's a Kingpin, elevation, both great bulls to put on her. And then we're gonna go with Essential on the little True Justice 431. He's got everything we need, plus he doesn't give up as much frame size as maybe Moneymaker or Bold Ruler does, and 431 is already comes from a smaller line, but we've been getting the calving ease out of him that we definitely need. He's got the stats and the accuracy to back him up. Little Nikon, we're gonna go with Moneymaker. Basically, we could go with anybody on here, and I still might change that up. This might become Eagle. I might flip these two around. The biggest reason I went Eagle here is because this is a Bold Ruler out of a Bruno daughter. So she has a tickle more frame than the other ones do. Both 29, both Nikon and Nova have a little bit more frame than the other girls do, which is fine. They're built really, really nice, but bred to a smaller frame bull, which is fine. Not going to give anything up. Eagle takes a little bit off on the maternal side, but not a huge amount. Really, it's more just in the milk department. His API is still really good, which is why he still makes a good female. But Nova has plenty in her pedigree, has plenty of milk to spare, and being out of a Bruno with the full blood and Bold Ruler has, I think if Bold Ruler's done anything, he's improved like bag and milk quality. Definitely improves that department. Our Eagle daughter, I think we're gonna go with Gibbs Essential. Again, she's a smidge on the smaller frame size, so you get the calving ease, but you don't give up the frame size. And then our AL53, the cow that had aborted over the winter, since she had such a nice Bold Ruler bull last year, we're just gonna throw him right back on her and hope for the same result. Well, Dad's on his way back down, and then I'll let him get backed up. And usually I do a couple scoops, and then he'll take over, or I'll fill it, doesn't really matter. But when he takes that next load, then I'm probably gonna start setting up temp line. we still got about like 2 loads. Dad's taking off with load number 4 for the day, and I better go mark this down. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the spike on, grab a bale and take that out to the field. And I told Dad, I said everything is all set up, so when he comes back we can let those animals out. And if he's still not back when I'm done with the bale, I might see if I can get these guys into the short chute, because there's plenty of room in that short chute to get all these pairs in there, and then they're staged up and they're ready to rock. But this was, I mean, still pretty darn decent. There's just you know, there's the stuff up in here that needs to get cleaned up. I did a bunch of scraping like right up against the bunks and stuff like that, where it kind of like collects up in here. All right, so grab one of the nicer bales, or at least one of the bales that I know is a nicer bale. They're all decent, but obviously they like some of them better than others, and I know this is out of a section that they like. All right, corn silage is going out. 10. Come on, kiddo. That's a little excessive. Little excessive there, young lady. So if anybody's wondering how I would rate this Beeland Country block feeder, because technically this is the block feeder. It's the 3-block block feeder. I would say it's good. I would get another one, but I would rather have the one that's specifically made for loose, because as you can see, like this kind of is like scalloped out, and I'm sure that's for the fact that it's a block. You know, a regular one would be straight across, and that would be nicer, because that would make this sit a little nicer too. You know, but overall, I would say it's nice. This is definitely beefy. I think the only area that's probably gonna wear out a little bit is either the hole in here and that pin. I think there's a nut on the other side, and I think I probably got to flip this whole guy over and maybe tighten that a little bit. But other than that, I'd say it's pretty good. If they were on sale for the right price, I'd get another one, but I would rather get one of the actual loose mineral. I'd spend a little extra cash and get the other style. So, but as far as putting it on this 28-inch tractor tire, I definitely hate it less than I thought I would. I like how it's sealed up because the bottom is so big. You know, it almost like if stuff overflows, it almost like acts as like a catch-all, you know, like right here or whatever, and then the cows can lick that all up and stuff too. It definitely has been used as a rubbing post, so to speak. So, all right, corn silage is out, and I just have to set these things over the top. Dad's got to get parked decent, and then cows are staged in the short chute, and we're ready to rock and roll. Have all the pairs out on the field. It'd be kind of cool. I don't know, not every year they've been out here that we've gotten everybody out here, so that'll be neat. So all I'm doing is getting the lines pretty tight, and then I just hang that reel over the 2-line temp. That way it puts plenty of tension on this line, and again, it's set at a height for the calves that's like below like my kneecap.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, let's go. Hip.
Hip, hip.
Let's go. Come on, girls. There we go. And there's Cher's little factor bull calf. I think he's only a week old. A little over a week. Come on, Cher. Let's go. Come on, kiddo. Buddy, you already took a dump like 10 minutes ago. Come on. That is really nice. All the pairs are out there. It gets them out of there. And really there's so much. I mean, you guys have seen what it looks like out there. There's so much little bits of leftover hay and stuff like that. It's nice out there. It's decent. The other big thing that it does is it frees up the loafing shed for us to, you know, instead of shoving these calves in the barn. Now tomorrow when we finish this little bit over here and then we kick out those calves, we want to clean the barn. So where can they go? Now they can go in the loafing shed. Alrighty, it is Sunday afternoon. Little later start for me anyhow. Some friends of ours had their kid had their baptism this morning. So then we had a little bit of a luncheon after that. So while I was at that, Dad was able to haul some loads from out by the red feeders where the cows spend the winter. Dad's been going to town at this. Looks like he's gotten a few loads out of here, but that was good. At least me being gone, Dad was able to still get some stuff done. All right, so Dad's off with another load. I'm gonna have to ask him how many loads he did over there. So, but I think with the pile we have left, it's not quite a full load and there's a lot of scraping around and stuff. I think I'm actually just gonna start taking buckets and throw it in front of the barn, in the barn door, like inside, because we want to move to hauling out of the barn and clean that right away. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of forking here, but do want to start feeding pretty darn soon. I might get a phone call on that load. That was the bad part. And Dad said too, like we even let the barn get away from us a little bit. We should have cleaned it, but just the way the weather hit, you couldn't, you know. Luckily there's still some decent straw in here, but you know, if you've watched previous videos, you know that I have no problem throwing a little bit of hay into just lightly bed areas, especially if there's a calf involved. If it's the cows, I will let that area go just a little bit longer. I'm going to do a little bit of forking here, and then we'll see about whether I'm going to start feeding after. I think I'll feed after the next load, or at least maybe throw their bale out after this one. So let's do a little forking. All right, this is actually a 2024 bale, but it's really nice grassy hay, and honestly they're just gonna keep complaining until they get their corn silage anyways. But just kind of scoping everybody out, because remember, this is the whole crew now. But I'll scope them out again when we do silage. All right, they got their bale, they're not complaining about it. That's always a good thing. All right, I'm gonna put the manure bucket back on and then keep cleaning some of that stuff that's left in the yard. Because another one of the things I'll do in between loads is now, like, I'll probably bring stalks over now that we got a bunch of stalks and spread that out so those guys have a good place to lay. Now I get to move into the barn. So we're gonna call it official at 15 loads out of this yard. Normally in the spring this yard is like a 10. This year 15. I think last year we did a couple of 3 loaders, so it ended up being about 10. And Dad said he hauled 3 loads from the other pile. The other obvious issue with this barn is it's hard to clean. This is not exactly the easiest thing to get in and out of, and it does really limit, unless you get a skid steer, which we don't really have the budget for, you know, a spare item that, yes, we could haul bales, we could feed with it, but it's not pulling wagons, it's not doing hay tedding, it's not a backup for raking or anything like that. But Dad did have a little bit of a snafu. right in here. You can kind of see there's gravel right there, and you see this little ledge right here, and this little ledge here. And I'll go show you where the other part. Dad managed to lift this guy out. Yep. So this, I don't know how, this is the leading edge. So this must have been sticking up a little bit. And you can obviously see that we've been like kind of chiseling away at it over the years. But he must have hit it just right. And then it broke on the other side and he just kind of lifted it up. So there's 2 lines of that. That's about 16 inches wide, give or take. Yeah. Time for some corn silage. Now we are trying to focus on getting a full bucket now. I mean, this is a pretty decent sized bucket. It's either 7, I think it's 7 feet wide. It's 7 or 8 feet wide, I can't remember. But this is when I get to check everybody out. Like it's number 10. This is a bull ruler. Out of first calf heifer, he is solid. Here's a money maker out of first half heifer. So it'll be interesting to see. You know, he's a little bit behind the other couple of bulls, but I think he'll do just fine. Here's our Gibbs Essential heifer out of 75, out of McFats. That's Tilt's brother right there. Not so tilty. Here's our last calf. Here is Share Bear's calf. Right, buddy? Huh? Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You don't have a swollen navel, do you? I can catch up to you. Nope. Pretty soft. Share's another one who got really dirty, honestly, because she's lazy and lays around everywhere. She was another one that got really skinny last year too. Don't know if it was just the quality of hay or what. I mean, they had plenty of hay. It just might have been just that bad a quality. So again, I think the corn silage really helping us out, filling that gap in nutrition for lower quality hay. Well, I think these guys are going to be pretty darn happy with their yard. We didn't bed it down only because, honestly, with the sun, I mean, other than lakefront property right there, I mean, this area all in here is pretty darn nice and dry. So yeah, pretty decent weekend. Got a lot of manure hauled. Actually had, I think, a way better weekend than they thought it was supposed to be, but we'll take it. We'll take happy surprises. Tomorrow night we'll be finishing the barn, and Dad will probably get a couple more loads on the field off over by the feeders, and probably pulling planters out sometime this week. Probably be on the list, but we'll see. So hope you guys liked the video. Please, on your way out, smash that like button. If you got any questions, by all means, please leave them in the comments. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Help support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. Thanks for coming along.